Hello fellow YouTubers, welcome to another episode. Now the image that you saw on the thumbnail, that's the image that we're going to be going over, and I'm going to teach you how to recreate that. I'm going to show you exactly step by step how I edited that. But real quickly before we dive into the edit of this particular room, I wanted to show you the tools that I use in order to recreate these images. So shoot through umbrella, very common, you can pick these up dirt cheap, but this one specifically, I am very glad that I found it, because in another video I'm going to show you the case that I use. I actually use a Godox AD600 case. You can pick them up on eBay, empty, just the case and all the dividers, for like 30-40 bucks. And it turns out that that works out perfectly for my needs. I can fit my drone in there. I shoot with the Mavic 2 Pro. I can fit 2 cameras, all my lenses that I need, extra tools and things and whatever, and this umbrella. The first umbrella that I haven't had to carry separately, or it gets damaged in my trunk, or you end up losing it or forgetting it. I just have a Velcro strap on here holding it together, but it is packed up maybe about a foot long, maybe 13 inches, and let me show you. It's a tri-fold, so it actually folds, has 3 or 2 hinges in there, and that's what makes it fold up so nice and small. Okay, so on a real estate shoot, and you're going to see the image that we have. Anytime you have dark ceilings, you're not able to bounce that flash off the ceiling. You have to use a shoot-through umbrella, or you could do a deflector in the other way, but it creates more power. Using a shoot-through umbrella, or you're going to see a lot of times on Facebook posts, people are saying STU. For the longest time, I'm like, what is an STU? Well, it just stands for shoot-through umbrella. But yeah, I'm going to leave a link in the description to this umbrella right here. Look at how, and then I take my AD200, okay, Godox AD200, and just hold it, just like this, and then hold it up, bang, get my flash pop, and then I can simply fold this down, like this, roll it up, shove it in my back pocket, put the AD200 in my back pocket, pick the tripod up, and move on. So I just want to throw that out there and show you the gear that I use in order to recreate this image. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get in there. I'm going to show you how to edit this image. Lightroom, and here's the ambient image, and notice my highlights over here. So I kept them from clipping. You do want to be careful in case you want to use your ambient layer for the lights or anything else. You just really want to try not to clip anything, because then you're losing that information. So I kept the room fairly dark, knowing I could pull those shadows back without blowing out the light fixture and making it too bright. Even though we are going to use that flash shot with that shoot through umbrella, you just still want to be careful with your ambient layer as well. Alright, so I'm going to go over to my single image bump here, and look at that. Look at how much nicer that is. That's almost deliverable in my opinion. I mean, I want to throw a flash pop in here and do some other white balance color corrections, but let's go to the flash image now. And before I move any further, if you haven't seen episode 1 where I talk about the preset that you can create, it's basically just going through and dropping the highlights, bumping the shadows a little bit, maybe moving the blacks down, keeping the profile on Adobe Standard, just making a profile here that's fitting to your taste and what you like. I'm going to bring the sharpness down actually in this particular one. I had to create a profile for my camera and lens because there doesn't exist a lens profile for mine at this current moment. And then make sure you click the vertical there. So if we turn that off and on, you can see how it corrects the verticals. It does a really good job. If you need to correct it or check it out, go to the crop tool here and then just click off the image a little bit, and you can kind of align that up a little bit better if you think it needs to be. Okay, and then you would just simply create a preset and then use that for every one of your images. It's going to get you really close every time, as long as you're consistent on how you shoot. Okay, let's move to the flash image. Alright, so this, I'm going to have a little bit extra step here. See my reflection in the window there? That's my umbrella reflection. Normally I would move out of the way or shoot from a different angle to get rid of that flash reflection in this window and then blend it in Photoshop. But let me check this one out. I didn't notice that, and I used the same area. I must not have been able to see that reflection when I did this, so that's okay. We can fix that in Photoshop, and hey, here's a little bonus tutorial for you. Alright, I'm going to reset this so you can see what it looked like prior. So, not too bad, but again, we're going up to my single image bump here, and I can even boost this a little bit more. And then we compare it to the ambient layer. These two should blend pretty good, but look at the difference in color. Now, if we go to as shot, if you do as shot, that's whatever your camera settings were at, and I would recommend just leaving them on auto white balance. So if I come down here and see what Lightroom does for auto, it definitely blues it out a little bit, which is fine. It might be too much, so you want to just bring that up. You want to try to get the white balance as close as you can, and I'm going to show you that other trick in Photoshop on how to get rid of all this orange color cast. So let's highlight both of these, right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. Okay, now that both your layers are in Photoshop, make sure that you have that ambient layer on top. Toggle that one off, make sure you have that, make sure it looks like they're lined up. And we can do the 50% rule. We can try that to see how that looks, and you can tell that the layers are not lined up. So we're gonna command click on the bottom one, edit, auto align layers. Make sure it's selected on auto. We're just going to auto align these. Now we can unclick, click that top layer, bring the opacity down to 50%, and that looks a lot better. And we almost got rid of the umbrella reflection in there. So I'm just going to right click on this bottom one, flatten image. Now to duplicate a layer, you're going to go Command J, and we are going to try the clone tool. Let's do that. Let's zoom in here. So all we really need to do is clone some of this. Let's try Option, click, and then you're gonna move it over. Just start clicking around. We gotta make that smaller. Let's see, maybe we can copy this down here. Just pick a spot in your image and just get it close enough. I mean, it's going to be so far away relative to everything else. Just want to make sure that you can't see that, and we toggle that on and off. That's a lot better looking. And if we back out, yeah, you can't tell that there was a reflection there from the umbrella. Okay, let's flatten this image again. And again, go back and watch episode 1 if you haven't seen it yet. But I'm going to do my preset, which is function 3. And this is giving me that. We're going to make this gray by just clicking in there. And now let's toggle this layer off. And now if we toggle this on and off, see how it reduced all that orange? What I did was I duplicated this layer, and then I went up to Filter, Blur, and then Average. And it'll take an average of all the colors, and you're trying to make the average of all the colors that gray. And that'll give you pretty close, consistent white balance every time. Sometimes it can turn it a little too blue, I've noticed, like for this example. So what I do is I just come up here to the opacity and I just bring this down. I mean 50% would probably work. 70%, let's check that out, toggle that on and off. It definitely helped it. It just eliminated all that orange, which I like. Okay, so let's go to flatten image and Command S to save it, to bring it back into Lightroom. Here it is back in Lightroom as that TIFF file, and I have another bump which I'm going to do right now, and you can create your own presets for your final image. And I'm just going to tweak that exposure just a little bit. Maybe drop those blacks down a little bit more. But there you go. There's the final image. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Come along with me. I'm going to teach you and show you room by room and house by house on how to grow your real estate photography business. Thank you. Thank you. You get the point. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out.